Telecommunications industry is experiencing significant inroads from generative AI, and this is leading to improved mobile phone connections and just overall network reliability. Let's look into some of the opportunities in this space. We're joined this afternoon by Nitesh Singh, Media and Technology Lead for Africa at Accenture. Nitesh, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for coming on. And listen, full disclosure, as I'm reading that introduction, it's very difficult for us to even understand what all of this means. Let's begin there. What is generative AI for telecoms?
Sure. So I think before we go to generative AI, let's go to AI.
Okay.
Right? So AI has been around for a number of years now. Essentially we're looking at large amounts of data sets that AI models were built against, and these could extrapolate data for one. Mm-hmm. You could, if you're looking at the telco industry, there's lots of data about consumers, and telcos could look at some of their data and predict the specific products, etc.
Okay.
Now, I think if you look at generative AI, it's kind of exploded in probably the last 5 to 6 months with OpenAI and ChatGPT, etc. But the generative part of AI is talking about kind of like a conversation, if you've got to think about it simply, where artificial intelligence now is generating a conversation, looking at large amounts of data, and having a personalized interaction with either other technology devices or with humans on the other side.
So you're saying we've moved sort of beyond the hype and the panic around AI. We're now looking at the kinds of inroads AI is making in telecoms. What would those inroads be?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing, I was in Mobile World Congress in Barcelona a few months ago, and we started to see, lots of use cases around what AI is doing in the telecommunications space. So if you think about our networks all around the country, in South Africa, that is, at present you have, depending on where you stay or where you work, these networks are optimized and pretty much most of the time by human beings. We're starting to see use cases where artificial intelligence algorithms are starting to balance out these networks. So, a lot of our telcos locally are starting to look at optimally balancing out the network so you could still have high value coverage, good data throughput, etc. So, that's one. Other ones you're starting to see are, everyone's using a ChatGPT chatbot in some way. Mm-hmm. Start to see, whatever your app is that you're using either through Vodacom or Telkom or MTN, a lot of artificial intelligence built into these apps now that will then start predicting more effectively products and services that you'll need, and just the ones that you will need.
Yeah.
And, a quick story, I'll tell you a simple way to think about it. I listened to the CEO of Deutsche Telekom a few months ago at Mobile World Congress, and he had a brilliant analogy of how he sees this working, and he called it an appless world through AI in the next few years. And if you think about it, on your mobile devices, you have lots of users, using many apps on the phone, but it kind of knows, if I'm going to take a lot, I'm buying a birthday present for a specific day, be it for my daughter or whatever it is, it's kind of I'm buying a present. And the way he explained it was quite interesting. The world he imagined it is, your daughter's birthday is coming up, what age category she's in, and the device, through lots of different AI services, would source a gift for her and have it delivered to you, and knowing exactly what she would like, because there would be some profile of her as well.
Yeah.
Depending on your buying pattern. So that's a interesting spin on how it's changing now.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hate it in a way. I feel like it's taking number one, it's creepy. I feel it's making us lazy. It's taking all of the thought and the effort out of our own hands. I mean, I hate the fact that if I Google a carpet, that suddenly on my Gmail I'm going to get 100 ads for different carpet places. And if you've watched any kind of movie about robots taking over the world, if you are of a particular age, these are the thoughts that come to your mind, right? So there's this double-edged sword to it. It makes life incredibly easy, and there are lots and lots of benefits to it. But is it not taking something away from us, Nitesh?
Look, I don't see a Terminator 2 world happening where, lots of clever robots are going to come after us. I think it's how you use it, right? So it's true what you're saying. I see, lots of school kids using ChatGPT to write out essays and things like that now, or even university students, and the list goes on. Right. So it does, in a way, make you a bit lazy, right? If you're getting something else to do all of this for you, and it's generating, a lot of that information for you. That's the generative part of it. Yeah, look, I think it's up to you as a user to use this in the most impactful way. Yes, I mean, there could be, and I think this is why security is becoming such a big thing around AI. And you can see the superpowers of the world are trying to battle it out over intellectual property and who could sell what devices between the Americans versus the Chinese, etc. It's how you actually use it, right? And I think if you're a parent, you should anyway be knowing what your kids are doing.
Yeah.
And I think the technology would evolve over time. But look, I see it as an exciting component where we can learn a lot more from AI than AI just doing the work for us. But yeah, you rightfully said it could take away from us being more productive and doing it for you.
And as we build up to June exams for school kids around the country, a word of warning: ChatGPT is not meant to write your essay for you. Yeah, it might give you a bit of a framework for the topic that you're researching, but it's absolutely not meant as a copy and paste job, surely.
Absolutely not. I think it's definitely not intended to I think when these things are designed, it's not intended to do it that way. But, human beings do manipulate some of these technologies that's out there wrongfully. And there needs to be some type of protection and regulatory frameworks put in place for these AI models that are coming up worldwide now.
Yeah. Nitesh, we're also building up to not only exams for kids around the country, but our elections in 8 days' time here in South Africa. The most contested election since 1994, probably one of the most important. Are there any concerns that you have insofar as free and fair elections are concerned heading into an election, not only in South Africa, but anywhere in the world?
Look, I think you got to be cautious. We have seen the previous US elections, there's lots of talk that specific governments were meddling in that through some type of cyber mechanism. If you look at over the last few months, we're starting to see a lot of deep fakes coming out. I think it was just after the Springboks won the World Cup, and there was deep fakes coming out against some of the All Blacks players who actually didn't do that at all. And there's always that risk. But I'm confident that in South Africa, we've always had free and fair elections, and the Electoral Committee will effectively look at these things going forward.
And it's up to platforms like Instagram, like Twitter, all of the social media platforms. I mean, they've got a huge job ahead. AI is making their job more and more difficult.
Yeah, it could also make it easier as well. I think as the AI starts to evolve, it'll start to detect the good from the bad. I guess the next question: what is good and what is bad? So it's how these frameworks are effectively, what regulatory frameworks are put around them. I don't see a world where you let these things run wild. I think you do need some type of regulatory framework in every country in the world that needs to effectively look at how these policies around AI are implemented, because it does have an impact, like you said, in all these social media tools that we're using today.
And then, Nitesh, on the question of infrastructure development, how are we doing here at home and on the continent?
So I think if I look at the investment that's happening, if I look at purely technical infrastructure, a lot of the hyperscalers, the Microsofts, the AWSs, have invested significant amounts of capex in South Africa, specifically, building up large data centers. So that's actually good to see. So the world is definitely noticing Africa. I travel a lot into the continent. You look at the likes of Google, they've set up a large data center plant in Ghana. We are seeing infrastructure that's coming into Africa now. I don't think as much as I'd like it to be. I think we do need a lot to do in every country in Africa to kind of show that there is a definite economic need that these organizations can benefit from as well, for them to invest in Africa as a whole. But I'm definitely seeing a lot of infrastructure development starting to happen in the technology space anyway.
Nitesh Singh, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. Very, very interesting discussion. Nitesh is a media and technology lead for Africa at Accenture. Great talking to you.